Sinchita was pacing up and down, deep in thought, at Alvin's headquarters. Alvin, Wei-Ling, and Azizul watched, wondering what was on her mind. "This case is driving me crazy," Sinchita spun around to face them. "Do you think Professor Tam has the idol? Think about it. Professor Jung trusted him, right? Tam is his only friend, right? If Professor Jung knew that the snake was closing in on him, maybe he gave Tam the idol for safekeeping." Azizu toyed with his cap and shook his head. "That doesn't make sense. Why did Professor Jung come to us for help if he had known where the idol was all that time?" "No, that just doesn't add up." Sinchita stamped her foot and glared at him. "Well, have you got a better theory?" Alvin cocked his head at Azizu. "Well," Azizu jumped up, "I think we can't find the idol or Professor Jung because the snake has got both of them." Wei-Ling stared at him. "But if he does have them, why is he trying to kill us?" Azizu shrugged. He turned his cap the wrong way around, much to Wei-Ling's annoyance. "Maybe he thinks we're close to solving the mystery." "I wish we were," moaned Wei-Ling. The sound of footsteps and voices approaching from the shop brought them all to their feet. A moment later, Rafe and Mas walked in hand. Rafe had no sooner explained how Edmund had rescued them than Alvin's phone shrilled. Sergeant Sue was on the line. "We raided the warehouse," he reported. "There was no sign of your friends." "They've just walked in the door," Alvin told him, and related Rafe's story. "Why would the snake's daughter kidnap them and then tell you where she was holding them?" demanded Sergeant Sue. "I don't know," Alvin admitted. "She said something about wanting to save their lives, but I don't trust her." "Well, I'm glad to hear it," Sergeant Sue snapped. "Neither do I. Now listen, Alvin. I want you all to stay where you are. Call me when your friends want to go home. The snake is getting too active for my liking. He's definitely up to something. The whole case is getting out of hand. We just had another report. I don't know what it means yet, and I don't know if the snake is behind it. But Professor Tam has gone missing from the university." Alvin and his team spent the rest of the afternoon at the headquarters. As evening approached, Alvin called Sergeant Sue and told him that his friends wanted to go home. A police patrol car was dispatched to collect them. When everyone had left, his mother came in to say she was closing the shop early. Alvin cast a curious glance at her flushed face. She seemed very excited about something, but Alvin was too lost in his own thoughts to ask any question. Then he was alone. After making sure the door to the car park was securely locked, he settled down. This was the part of detective work he really enjoyed. Examining all the clues, analyzing what they meant, he spread 4 sheets of blank papers on the table. On the first sheet he wrote "The Idol" and then added everything he knew about it. The Idol. A lesson kept at Professor Jung's house. Stolen. By whom? Why? Not really valuable. Then he took the second sheet of paper, his brow knitted in concentration. He wrote down a different heading, followed by more notes. Professor Julius Jung, rocket scientist, very secretive man, hobby collecting rare birds, Disgrace. Fired from rocket project. Did he steal money? Hired us because he knew we'd beaten the snake twice. Now missing. Alvin reached for the third sheet of paper. He chewed on his pen as she collected his thoughts. Then he jotted all the facts he knew. Professor Aloysius Tam, University, nuclear physicist. Jung's only friend since their student days. Jung taught him to help remove furniture. Doesn't know where Jung is. Now also missing. Alvin smiled grimly as he started to walk on the fourth sheet of paper. He looked up when he heard the sound of an engine coming from the car park. When he saw the flashing lights of a police car, he relaxed and completed his notes. The snake, master criminal, only deals in big crimes. Did he steal the eagle? If so, why? Did he kidnap Jung? If so, why? Has he now kidnapped them? If so, why? Alvin stared at his notes for the next hour as he considered the links between the three men and the missing bird. He paced the room, tossing around one theory after another. He twisted the facts in his mind, looking at them from every angle. Long ago, Alvin so had learned never to take anything at face value. At last, when he knew he'd solved the case, he yawned. He stuffed his notes into the pocket of his jeans and glanced out the window. The patrol car had swept into the car park again. He darted outside and got a lift home. When Alvin opened the front door, he discovered the apartment was in darkness. "Mom," he called. He stepped inside and reached for the lights switch. He froze. Had he heard a soft movement from somewhere in the darkness? Or was his imagination playing tricks on him? A quick step of alarm forced him back into the corridor. What if the snake's men were inside? What if they had kidnapped his mother and were now waiting for him? Then he remembered Sergeant Sue's men posted downstairs. They had the building surrounded. His anxiety faded and he let out a sigh. And then he remembered something else. Wasn't there a meeting tonight? The local shopkeepers got together every month to talk about improving business in their area. What did they call it? A Chamber of Commerce? A Progress Committee? Something like that. That's where she'd gone, he decided, and went inside. He flicked on the lights. The living room looked the same as it always did. A quick check of the other rooms showed he was alone in the apartment. He went into the kitchen and made himself a sandwich. He found some slices of chicken, added a piece of cheese, and topped it with a sliced tomato. He rummaged around for the chili sauce. Then he returned to the living room and settled down to wait on the sofa. As he chewed, another thought occurred to him. Could his mother have gone out on a date? That would explain why she looked so excited. If that were the case, Alvin wondered, who was the mystery man? Alvin looked across at the framed photograph of his father. He'd always wanted his mother to find happiness again. He was waiting for the moment she'd fall in love once more. It was also a moment he was secretly dreading. What if he didn't like the man? And what if the man didn't like him? He kept an eye on the clock. It was 10 o'clock, then 11 o'clock. Alvin fell asleep on the sofa. He didn't hear his mother come home. Gracie saw that at her sleeping son. She hurried into his room and stripped the cover from his bed. She placed it over him and turned off the light. She stood there for a long while in the darkness, wondering whether to wake him and tell him her news. Then she decided it was better to let him sleep.